The issue here today is whether or not these new financial products, derivatives, which are causing more and more trouble out in our financial marketplace, are going to be given the proper respect which they should in this legislation with respect to protection of investors. Derivatives are financial products whose value is dependent upon or derived from the value of some underlying financial asset, such as a stock or a bond, a foreign currency, a commodity, or an index representing the values of that asset. Now, some derivatives have been around for many years, such as exchange-traded futures and options used by investors and dealers seeking to hedge positions taken in the stock and bond markets or to speculate on future market movements. Within the last few years, however, exchange-traded futures and options have been supplemented by a vast and dizzying array of over-the-counter derivatives. These include structured securities, forwards, swaps, options, swaptions, caps, floors, and collars that may be linked to the performance of the Japanese stock market, the dollar Deutschmark, the S&P 500, or virtually any other asset out in our marketplace. Today, the outstanding value of the principal underlying the over-the-counter derivatives is estimated to be $12 trillion. Now remember, we're going to have a big debate here this year on how to spend $1.5 trillion, which will divide this Congress quite bitterly. We're talking here now about instruments that are valued at $12 trillion in their principal form. Now, the dynamic growth of the over-the-counter derivatives market is the direct result of developments in telecommunications and computer technologies and breakthroughs in new concepts of modern portfolio management strategies. Now, using these new tools of technology and portfolio management strategies, a new generation of Wall Street geniuses have begun to market these products out across our country. By breaking down the price movement into individual deltas and gammas, thetas and vegas, dancing across the computer screen, the quants, that is the mathematical geniuses who call themselves quants because they deal in quantitative mathematics, they deal as physicists, who have moved over from the nuclear physicist world into the world of creating these new products, have created the new world of cyber finance, which is reshaping both the United States and the global financial marketplace. And these geniuses, these young men and women that work with computers and highly sophisticated mathematical and other principles have developed these captions and floortions, the accreting and amortizing swaps, the digital options, the butterfly spreads, the condors, the straddles, the cylinders, the roller coaster swaps. Now, all of these products have now been sent out into the American marketplace, in many instances with the promise that they're quite safe for a municipality to purchase. You might have a hometown that's been told that they can purchase some of these products. You might have people inside of your district who are being told they're quite safe to purchase. The problem is that in the hands of the boy who lost $1 billion, Nicholas Leeson, the 28-year-old trader who bankrupted England's oldest financial firm. That's Newsweek's cover this week. Fortune magazine, cracking the derivatives case, the untold story of lies, arrogance, and ignorance that cost major players billions. This is Fortune magazine we're talking about.
The gentleman's time has expired.
I ask unanimous consent to continue for an additional 3 minutes.
Hearing no objection, the gentleman is recognized for an additional 3 minutes.
Time magazine Ego and greed. The inside story of the 28-year-old trader who blew $1 billion, broke a bank, and stunned the world. And Fortune magazine from 2 weeks ago. The risk that won't go away. Financial derivatives are tightening their grip on the world economy, and nobody knows how to control them. We are talking here about ensuring that these very sophisticated geniuses not be able to inoculate themselves against suit while they're dealing in these very risky financial products that are so complex that in most instances the CEOs of the companies themselves do not understand them. Procter & Gamble, Gibson, companies across this country are alleging that they were misled into these products. The objective of the Markey Amendment out here is to ensure that investors are protected when they are misled into products of this nature, which by their very personality cannot possibly be understood by ordinary, unsophisticated investors. And by that I mean the town treasurers, the county treasurers, the ordinary individual that thinks that they are sophisticated, but they're not so sophisticated that they can understand an algorithm that stretches out for a half a mile and was constructed only inside of the mind of this 26 or 28-year-old summa cum laude in mathematics from Caltech or from MIT who constructed it. No one else in the firm understands it. And the lesson that we're learning is that the heads of these firms turn a blind eye because the profits are so great from these products that, in fact, the CEOs of the company don't even want to know how it happens until the crash, which brings down the oldest bank in England, which brings down a company, a county, a municipality, an individual. So this amendment is intended to ensure that protections are given to individuals against these kinds of products being sold to them. And I urge every member that's very concerned about Fortune magazines and identification of this as one of the most serious problems in our economy, to vote yes on the Markey Amendment to give real protection to the ordinary investor in this country. And I yield back the balance of my time.